Addition by subtraction is a nasty term that means that sometimes teams can be better when certain members are left off. But in this case, addition by subtraction simply means that the left hand is going to be stealing away beats from the right hand. This is a simpler piece, so for those of you who may have been working really hard to learn the other pieces, here's a break. And for those of you who are looking for a simpler piece to jump in on the 40-piece challenge, this might be the chance. In the score, you'll notice that I've written the words 1, 2, 3, 4. These show where these team members of notes are. If you read along, you'll notice that every time we get to the end, the left hand has taken away one more of the right hand's notes. As with any time you're sight reading or learning a new piece of music, make sure you check on the basics first. So look that there are two staves, one for the right hand and one for the left hand, and then look for the curly brace that connects these two staves together. This means that even though there are two parts, they are to be played at the same time. So far we have a standard piano setup. Make sure you check on your clefs. The right hand is playing in the treble clef and the left hand is playing in the bass clef, just as we would expect. Except that if you look at the left hand's part, even though it starts in the bass clef, later on it plays in the treble clef and then goes back to the bass clef and then goes back to the treble clef again. Finally, look at the time signature. It's 3/4 time, and this means that there are 3 beats per measure and a quarter note gets 1 beat. The first measure actually only has 2 beats in it. That means it's a pickup measure. And we're allowed to do this because the last measure only has 1 beat in it. So if you add 2 plus 1, we get a full bar of 3. That's just a little side note for those of you who like math. The right hand's part is pretty typical. We start on G and we walk down the scale to C, and then we reverse direction and we skip up. The left hand's part is not so standard, and it might look like a mess on the page. But if you take the time to read those notes carefully, you'll realize that first of all there are only 2 notes, C sharp and D sharp, even when it's played in the treble clef, but that these notes are actually both of the black notes in the 2 black note group. When they're played in the bass clef, they're the ones that are below where the right hand plays its notes. And when it's played in the treble clef, they're the ones above where the right hand plays. And I've written a note in the score that confirms this. It says left hand crosses over right hand. So hopefully you enjoy this little piece. I think it's kind of fun to think about the left hand stealing away notes from the right hand. It reminds me a little bit about the kids' song Bingo. In the chorus, you spell out the word bingo, B-I-N-G-O, but every time you come back to the chorus, one of the letters is taken away and you clap instead. Check to see if there is a key signature, the sharps or flats at the beginning of a piece that tell you that every sharp or flat in that piece is going to be played.